Hello friends, welcome to our daily video. We haven't had our coffee yet. I'm sure I look moody. What is the topic of today's conversation?
Yeah, today's topic will be how to build a container house. Coffee. Americano. Yeah, large one. Two big coffees. Okay, now let's talk about the important part here. Everything is off the way. Coffee is coming, so I will be doing most of the talking, and that will be very, very long video. The topic of the video is how to build a container house. How to build a container house, very, very big topic in 2020. There are a few reasons why, because with the COVID, a lot of people realized that city is not the most sustainable way of having a good life. So here we live in New York City. New York City is about 12 million, 15 million, who knows how big it is. But once the COVID hit, a lot of New Yorkers went to their home states, and some even went to their home countries. And some people, like the New Yorkers, they went upstate New York and they found the beauty of the countryside. So we are one of these people that for the last how many years? 2-3 years, we've been going consistently in nature every Sunday or Saturday. Sometimes we rent houses, sometimes we rent cottages, sometimes we rent log houses. So we go around the country and we do this thing, exploring, living alternative ways out of the big cities. So that is very appealing to a lot of people, and from 2018 to 2020 has been a huge trend for people to build sustainable houses. Now the word in 2020, I guess it would be sustainability. So in this video, I will reveal the secret, how to build a container house. There are many ways to build houses: stick houses, prefabricated houses, concrete houses, houses out of spheres. You can build anything you like as long as you have imagination. But now we focused our attention on the container house. Why is that? Because containers are very cheap, very affordable, and you can have huge square footage for very low price. That means, I don't want to say the prices because they will be different for the state of California and the state of New York and the state of Zimbabwe, for example. They would be different prices, right? But container houses are very, very cool now. I found myself container houses about 3-4 years ago, and there was very little information, but now there is huge information. So now I will go through the process of how to build a container house, like expert, almost like an expert. And why I'm qualified to do that? Not because I build a container house, but because I'm about to build a container house, and because I have a little bit of business experience. Business experience is very, very important when you build a container house. It is mandatory. It is mandatory. If you have business experience, that would be of great help. So now, attacking this problem is going to take, I'm just going to propose this approach, the business approach. Building a container house as though is not for you, will be your home, but as though you will build it for somebody else with the attempt to sell. So it has to be marketable, kind of. So if you build it for yourself, you may fall into the trap of having emotional attachment to your house, which is good, but we're going to take the other approach, building a container house as though this is a business, as though you just set up a company for container housing projects and you go through the process. So now I will tell you there are a few steps, and I will start the steps of building container house by the importance. The most important thing is step number 1. You have to decide to build it, and step number 1.1 is to learn everything about container houses. Now, lucky me, I already went to this process. I spent probably 500 hours watching videos in YouTube and how people buy container houses, how people build container houses, how people sell container houses, where the containers. So this is step number 1. And for step number 1, you just have to dedicate a lot of time. You cannot go around this step number 1, because in business it's like this. If you don't do step number 1, you cannot go in step number 2. It's a very common sense. But some people do the common mistakes. They, oh wow, I'm going to build container house, and they go and buy 5 containers. Here is me. I already bought 3 containers, right? But I watched a lot of videos in YouTube. So many videos there in YouTube, starting from how to build one container house, 20 container house, house from, you can build island of container houses. And there are people now with the advent of YouTube, especially there are people, private people, that go.
Can we get some milk?
Yep. Oh, yep. There are private people that go and they share their experience. There are people that start a container house and they televise the entire process in YouTube, and they talk about the houses. They talk about their problems. They talk about the challenges. They talk about how to fit it in the environment. So this is the most important step. It's like, I can give you an analogy here. Let's say you are a 20 years old person and you want to go in a job. Let's say you want to be a rocket scientist. Wouldn't that be nice for you to go in the rocket scientist YouTube video and see what type of job you're going to have? The same thing. You know, if you want to be an astronomer, you have to know what astronomy is. So you have to spend a lot of time looking into that field and to find out, is this fits you, your personality? Maybe it's just a dream. Yeah, I want to be an astronomer, but does it fit you? The same thing with the container house. Yeah, I want container house. You know, I have this dream in my head. It will be good. Okay, so before you even decide, maybe you should undecide. Maybe you should say, you know what, container house, not a good idea. And also there, so much information in YouTube about comparing container house versus the standard. Also watch the other thing. So this is step number 1. Spend, I would say 500 hours is the minimum. Now, lucky me that once I start researching this container house thing, I jumped into a channel in YouTube which is called Shelter Mode. Shelter Mode is the greatest channel in the world, in the space of internet, if you want to build a container house. That is the number 1 source for how to build container house, and over 1,000 reviews of already built container houses. Also, they can provide you with schematics, they can provide you with support, and they are doing it all this for free. All this for free. Like, they do so much for free. Shelter Mode is the name of the channel. So this is step number 1. Familiarize yourself with the...
By the way, it's almost unbearable to sit next to someone who's talking all the time.
Okay.
It's like it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I know. I'm talking to the camera. Sorry. Okay, cheers. Now, Maria is investor.
Yeah. In part number 2 of this video, you're gonna tell your audience
How to what?
how to build a container house.
You don't want to talk about the container
You're
house?
talking about container houses.
Oh, yeah, of course. It's my channel after all.
You can do it when you are not spending time with me with a coffee.
Oh. This is a very annoying for of me. Okay? So, this is step number 1. Spend a lot of time to get to know if you like it or not. If you like it or not. And then we're going to go to step number 2 and number 3 and number 4 and number 5. And that's it. Basically, I'm going to reduce it down to five steps, and that's all. But step number 1 is the most important. Why this is so important? Because during the process of the container houses, by just watching and listening other experts that built, that had the experience, you will avoid millions of mistakes if you don't do that. That's how it is. That's how simple it is. You are going to avoid million mistakes, and you probably will spend, and probably you will save thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the size of your container home project, right? So first go to shelter mode and see what all these people are saying. There are like 1,000 reviews of built container houses. It's amazing channel. That's all I have to say. I'm not in any way and form affiliated with these guys, but they do the best job when it comes to container houses. So that's it. Thank you for the moment. Subscribe, and I will later on tell you about the rest of the steps. Thank you. Hey, subscribe to my channel too. Also, I'm building a container house, so I will do the same thing. I will televise it. I will show you my personal struggle and my personal fulfillment once the container house is built. Today is October 5th, 4th, 5th, maybe October 5th today, 2020. So build your container house.